Let's explore how the inspector presents J.B. Priestley's criticisms of capitalist society. The inspector embodies J.B. Priestley's views that he presented in his radio broadcasts throughout World War II. Priestley aims to make his audience more accepting of socialist ideologies. Plus, being able to critique capitalism, he's able to expose its exploitative and negative traits. Primarily, as these have managed society over the past two world wars. Arguably, an inspector cause is created to unite people into one voice, or one body, as Priestley likes to tell us. Therefore, unification of society equates to power, meaning the actual class triangle is subverted, and therefore the lower and working classes naturally become more powerful than the upper and middle class. Mrs. Burling. As omnipresent, the inspector structures the play once he enters the stage, undermining Burling's middle-class principles in his own home right in front of his whole family. This juxtaposition with the previous celebratory atmosphere emphasises how the inspector's presence dominates these people, as he will sit in judgment over them even though they represent the echelons of society. As a dramatic device, the inspector drives the key theme of social responsibility throughout the whole play. Priestley uses the inspector to hold the older generation to account, potentially explaining why they might choose to accept responsibility that social change must take place. And he presents this as the Burling's refusal, the older generation's refusal, to accept their shame of blame and guilt. Priestley constructs the inspector's exit to summarise the key lessons from the play, moving on to what the actual consequences will be if they do not take place. Obviously, this is going to ring true for an audience in 1945, as they have lived this very experience. Remember, the inspector has a godlike presence at the end of the play as he sits in judgment over the Burlings and Gerald Croft, dwarfing their sense of status, an artificially man-made, socially constructed sense of power. Is it any wonder then that in 1945 Clement Attlee swept to power in the general election, giving the UK its first ever Labour government? Is it any wonder then that Clement Attlee won the 1945 general election, giving the UK its first ever Labour government? Is it any wonder then that Clement Attlee was able to sweep to power in 1945, creating the first ever Labour government that this country had ever seen? Well done, Priestley. Good move. You want 5 Jekyll and Hyde quotes that can be